Looking at those Titans, I mean, when you look at where they are, the clinching situation, I believe we have all that information that we're allowing everybody to see. They're facing the Houston Texans, right? And, of course, we saw Deshaun Watson get banged up. So, I mean, it's almost a foregone conclusion. They win at Houston or Indy loss at Jacksonville, but I'm pretty sure they're going to win. Mm-hmm. You look at what happened up against the Packers in Green Bay. Derrick Henry, for the most part, was being hit early and often. Now, the biggest question is, how many teams are built to stop Derrick Henry? How many teams can contain Derrick Henry? After I saw this game, it wasn't that I didn't think that the Titans were a good team anymore. No. Then I started doing the process of elimination. How many defenses can rally to the ball and stop the king like they did? And that's the most baffling question I can ask myself is there a defense out there that can do what the Browns did earlier in the season, what the Packers just did this past weekend, and how good will these guys be in the postseason? After them making that run to the AFC Championship game, I've always had faith that they'll be a legit team. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, though.
You have doubts?
I do have doubts. After that loss, because it wasn't just a loss that came down to the final play of the game. They were outmanned, they were outplayed, they were outcoached.
The dirty secret about the Titans, which is not a secret anymore, is they don't have anything up front. They have fewer sacks as a team than T.J. Watt has an individual. I mean, it's like historically bad.
Yeah.
Their back end is good, but then Rodgers and Devontae went right through them. So, they got no pass rush.
Yep.
And that is a lot of pressure to put on the offense.
And they knew it going into the season. They went and they got Clowney, and they paid him all the money.
Where's he?
He's not there. I want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens because we have this team now that's in a win-and-in situation. If they take care of their business against Cincinnati, they're in the playoffs. And it's like, all right, the Ravens are back in the playoffs where they belong, where we all predicted they would be before the season started. All that's great, right? Have you watched the Ravens the last 4 weeks? Going back to that Browns game, they have been unbelievable. They blew out the Cowboys. They blew out the Jaguars. They blew out the Giants. And look at this stat right here. This is the whole season. Point differential. Mm-hmm. It's not the Chiefs or the Packers or the Buccaneers. It's the Ravens, and they're rolling right now. And to me, it's bigger than Week 17. I would assume, even though the Bengals have won 2 straight games and are giving it their all, I would assume that the Ravens, a team with that pedigree and that coaching staff, they'll take care of business. Then I look to January, because before this season, a lot of people picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
Sure.
A lot of because some of us said Lamar might repeat as MVP. Mm-hmm. And then I go back, I think there's so much more for them this season than other teams. Like the Titans, I respect what they're doing. The Browns, it's a cool story. Like if the Ravens can make a run in the playoffs, it erases some of the wounds from last year's collapse. It erases that game against the Chargers where, remember, they were a playoff team that was red hot. This was Lamar's first playoff game that very rarely gets mentioned, where this team just had no shot after the first half. The Chargers just took care of business on a weird early Sunday afternoon game in Baltimore. I feel like there is so much more at stake for the Ravens than just this season and just this one game against the Bengals. If they win this game, they finish the season with 4 straight wins. They're red hot. They're beating teams by a lot of points. And they're the team that no one wants to face come the playoffs. That includes Kansas City, who has beaten them the last couple of years.
That's wild. A couple of teams intrigue me here. First of all, the Colts very likely are going to finish 11-5 and maybe miss the playoffs. I mean, I don't even know what you tell you. And this is a year in which more teams are making the playoffs, and we still may have an 11.
They were up 24-7 too in Week 16.
It was a terrible loss. However, I'm going to look at a team that won. I'm going to look at the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins scenario because there's a bunch of scenarios. All right, so all they got to do is they win. Now, they beat the Bills, and there's a lot of intrigue about how Sean McDermott's going to handle this. If you know McDermott is a red ass. He's an old school guy. I'm sure he'll play to win, and I mean that as a huge compliment. Even if they lose to the Bills, any of those teams lose, Baltimore, Cleveland, Indianapolis, the Dolphins are in. Here's my question. Ryan Fitzpatrick makes the best throw of his career in a sports world, a heroic thing that he did, and is immediately benched. The game isn't even over yet, and Brian Flores says we're going back to Tua. So, in this game, what is the hook on Tua? If Tua's going to start, Flores has already said Tua Tagovailoa will start against the Bills. What is the hook? Nate talked about earlier that Fitzpatrick is the closer. That's fine, but you only bring in the closer if the starter is starting to fall apart. So are they down? Is he out? If he throws an interception, is he out? Or is it just this intangible feel that Brian Flores has to do this again? And then let me push it forward. Let's say Tua gets benched for the 3rd time this season. Fitzpatrick comes in. They win. They don't. They get to the playoffs. What happens in the first round? Is Tua starting again? Because I know Fitzpatrick is the ultimate team guy and the ultimate sage, At some point, he has to have a meeting with Brian Flores and say, damn it, coach, like, why aren't I starting the game? Why do you keep putting this kid in? I'm better. I give us a better chance to win. So many layers of intrigue. Now, if Tua comes out and plays well and they win, puts it all away. But as we've seen, Flores is very quick to be, get out of there, kid. So you got to track this one all game, and then when they go to the playoffs, which I think they will, at any moment, the quarterback could be benched. I don't know how he does it, but every time he does it, Peter, it seems to work.
You know, Raiders were in this Tampa 2 all game, and Tua's taking the short stuff, and Kurt Warner's on the call, and he's like, gotta take what you can give him,
take a
right?
shot.
Yeah, no, he's saying, take what they're giving you. Take
It's in pieces.
And then Fitzpatrick comes in, and it's like, wait, I'm just gonna slice it up the middle because it's sitting there.
Yeah.
And he's taking shots. Like, I don't know if Tua didn't have the confidence or if his arm isn't strong enough or he didn't see it, but like the second Fitzy came in, they lit up the Raiders.
Why not start him?
I don't know. I
So
don't
weird.
know. I gotta be honest. I was shocked when he said, I'm going with Tua next.
But listen, I know you guys. We've been working together a long time. You kind of like it like this, though.
Yeah, I love it.
It's entertaining to have Tua start the game, and you're almost wondering, and you can almost see it. In this game, you can see, like, all right, he's a little gun shy. Is the moment too big? All right, we start looking for the camera angle that's finding Fitz on the sideline. Like, oh, did he just strap up his chin strap? Oh, Fitz is coming in the game. And for fans of the game, it's exciting to see, and I love it.
Yeah, it's intrigue, and it's really interesting, and it's the only way they can do it, though.
Yeah.
You can't start Fitz and then say he doesn't have it today, let's bring in Tua.
Yeah.
Or can
probably
you?
I don't know. It's rewriting the rules, but it seems to be working every time. The Dolphins are going to go to the playoffs.
Maybe
Flores
you're
is
right.
amazing.
Maybe he's just rolling sevens. I got you.
That's it.
Let's talk about a team that did not roll sevens, and that is the Cleveland Browns. You know, you look at the Cleveland Browns, and they have to win against Pittsburgh. That's the situation they're in after that game Sunday against the Jets. I don't want to take anything away from the Jets, but I have to, who are still playing hard for Adam Gase, but I have to believe, even if they just, quote unquote, just had Jarvis Landry Sunday, that's a big game. That's the first game in his career he's ever missed. That obviously is really, I'm sure, personally sad to him, and I know competitively he certainly wanted to be out there. But the Browns intrigue me. They've made it hard on themselves, but with that run-pass option, if you will, and I don't mean the run-pass option, I mean the run, Kareem Hunt, and of course Nick Chubb option, along with the pass option where Jarvis Landry, there he is, he can do anything, including throw touchdowns. The Browns absolutely intrigue me.